Welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour. I'm Malanji Makil Latunji. The earlier scheduled probe of Ibrahim Lamade, chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, over the alleged diversion of 1 trillion naira looted funds met a gridlock today as the EFCC boss was reported absent. We will bring you details in the subsequent bulletins. The federal government is to use the national identity card to complement the permanent voters card in future elections in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari disclosed this shortly after he was registered for his national identity card by the National Identity Management Commission at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. He's convinced that the project will go a long way to confirm Nigeria's population, just as the managers of the national ID card exercise say there is no time limit for registration.
It's very, very important because it will confirm our population and those who are entitled to vote that reach the age of 18 and above. It will complement the exercise of permanent voters card. So for those who want their votes to count in whichever party, in whichever constituency, must be sure that they and their families have been properly captured as ever have been captured.
This exercise is not a one-off thing in the sense that there's a time limit. It's a continuous exercise. So every enrollment center that we open or establish remains open forever. It's like the branch of a bank. It opens for business. And so we are taking very deliberate steps to ensure that enrollment centers are opened in each local government. In collaboration with the MDAs, we are now extending it to universities. With the collaboration with the National Health Insurance Scheme, it will be extended to primary schools and hospitals. With the collaboration we expect with the INEC, and we are meeting INEC today, it will
President Muhammadu Buhari has blamed past administrations for the current situation in which Nigeria is forced to spend billions of naira annually on alleged subsidies for petroleum products. The president who spoke at the meeting with the chairman and members of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission on Tuesday in Abuja expressed the view that the escalation of petroleum subsidy payment over recent years was due to the deliberate neglect of the nation's refineries, oil pipelines and other related infrastructure to allow the importation of petroleum products and corruption to thrive. The president who stated there's huge disappointment with the way Nigeria's oil industry has been run since he left office as petroleum minister, military head of state, said he was convinced that if the development of the country's domestic refining capacity and petroleum product distribution network had kept pace with national demand, there would not have been any need for the huge subsidies currently being paid to importers. President Buhari also wanted that severe sanctions will be visited on any individual or organizations that violates the directive on the payment of all national revenue into the Federation account. Nigeria and Benin Republic have agreed to strengthen economic and security cooperation. President Muhammadu Buhari and his Benin Republic counterpart, Boniyayi, made this known at a joint press briefing after a closed-door meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The two West African leaders pledged to continue to put in place necessary mechanisms to further strengthen regional integration and security.
We are doing our best under the circumstances in Nigeria. We have just arrived in this government. We have been reorganizing the military. They are on the ground. That's especially the Army and the Air Force. They are doing very well. And the Navy has joined to secure our responsibilities in the Gulf of Guinea, which is from Senegal to Gabon to Angola. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, we are on course. We are getting the cooperation of the international community, and I assure you of our confidence And I believe you are already feeling the difference.
I'm feeling appreciation.
And today is a Buhari 3, a Buhari 2 days. And the hope now is that we have to continue the progress of our common destiny. We have to continue to pursue with the hope, with the success, with the progress of our population. He allowed one of the governors of one of the state of Nigeria, who is Kebbi State, to pay a visit a few days ago. This is Abubakar Atiku, who came to Benin and activated the integration that I spoke of a few minutes ago. This is another kind of going into the sub-regional integration, because if Mr. Buhari, President Buhari didn't allow it, we could not be able to go through this kind of integration.
The Fiji government wants Nigerians in the diaspora to do more to pull the country out of poverty threshold. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo stated this while declaring open the 2015 Diaspora Day Conference at the State House Banquet Hall in Abuja. He also reaffirmed government's commitment to conducive investment environment for all Nigerians within and outside the country. Basay has more.
Vice President.
These are the faces that graced the 2015 Diaspora Day Conference in Abuja. Among them are Nigerians who have lived and worked in and are still living and working abroad. Organizers say this year's gathering is a platform to interact and usher in a new Nigeria, as well as one to mentor young Nigerians. It is on this note that the Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, who represented his principal, President Muhammadu Buhari, reeled out government's medium and long-term plans for the economic rebirth of the country. He maintains that government will ensure that bureaucracy is eliminated while creating conducive foreign investment opportunities.
The financial remittances from Nigerians abroad have now reached an estimate of well over $20 billion US, the figure recorded for last year alone. With the potential of such huge populations abroad and attendant financial muscle, no government could actually totally ignore such persons.
I urge you to consider how you can individually and collectively key into the government's determination to change all aspects of our national life and move our country forward.
Those present at the conference, however, say governments must formulate and implement policies to integrate those in the diaspora.
No matter what grammar we speak today, if we don't integrate Nigerians in diaspora into the system, whether it's private sector or the government system, it will just another talk show. So we're hoping that that execution of the policies, the accession of the Nigeria Diaspora Commission, and of course this integration agency that actually carries out most of the activities, it will not again be a very effective summit.
Some participants and exhibitors who are already taking advantage of government's invitation to help develop the country had this to say.
First and foremost, benefit a lot from the company by way of employment and generation of goods that is made here, and conserving the foreign currency for Nigerians.
We brought the initiative to build affordable housing for Nigerians. We've deployed our machines. We've also built an 81 three-bedroom units in Kuje as we speak. Other constructions are going on elsewhere. We tend to help provide affordable housing to Nigerians.
The theme of the 2015 Diaspora Day celebration is Diaspora and Nigeria Change Agenda. Basay, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Newly appointed Executive Chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatunde Fowler, has assumed office with a promise to widen the nation's sources of revenue. Fowler noted that the low revenue coming into the nation's treasury has made it necessary to shift attention away from relying on oil as major source of revenue. He appreciated the efforts of the predecessor and pledged to build on some of his policies. Basil Okafo has more in this report presented from our studios.
This is the first day at work for the new FIRS executive chairman. Babatunde Fowler was named to the position last week by President Muhammadu Buhari, but he has now assumed office pending his confirmation by the Senate. At the formal handover ceremony, the former chairman of the Lagos State Board of Internal Revenue reeled out part of the measures to shore up the nation's revenue profile.
We're here to provide a service, and we should also remember that only those who make profit pay tax. So those who have found Nigeria fertile ground, those who have made a living and made profit from the businesses within Nigeria, we ask them to do the right thing, to ensure that they pay their taxes, to ensure that government has enough revenue to continue to provide the required services that they require, to make sure that government can provide security and also a conducive environment for their business.
The new FIRS boss also warned multinational organizations doing business in the country to obey laws governing tax. He maintained that this is the time the country needs better ways of tax administration.
I want to also request that the multinational organizations should follow our laws. Abroad, they do not do things that will contravene their tax laws. I'll ask them that they please partner with us and follow the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, especially when it comes to tax payments.
The former acting FIRS chairman, Samuel Ogungbeson, used the opportunity to express his gratitude to the management of the organization. He also solicited support for the new chairman in his quest to improve on FIRS revenue generation.
Here you are, desirous of taking us to the next level. We give you award all the officers of the FIRS, numbering about 6,900 in all, will have no choice but to give you their maximum support. And since we've taken it up to this level, my prayer is that you will also succeed. And that at the end of the day, the taxpayer community out there and all the taxpayers we've been working with will say that government has made no mistake at all. We have followed your successes at the State Revenue Board, and I believe that it's also doable here. The Lord will support you, sir.
Fowler, who was credited with raising internally generated revenue in Lagos State from 3 billion in 2006 to 20 billion naira in 2013, will be in the saddle in acting capacity until his confirmation by the Senate.
You're still watching CoreTV News, and I will take a break now. We're back on our stories. Let's stay with us.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly. Talk to our husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Thank you for joining us again. For more on the news and other programs, please visit our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can follow us on Twitter, CoreTV News NG. Also visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/CoreTV the news. Member countries of Lake Chad Basin Commission are to deploy 1,700 troops to stem the activities of Boko Haram insurgents in the region. Defense spokesman Colonel Rabi Abubakar discussed this in a statement issued in Abuja on Tuesday. He said the decision came from a meeting of chiefs of the defense staff in N'Djamena Chalco to finalize agreements for the deployment. Nigeria's Chief of Defense Staff General Gabriel Olonishakin led all the defense chiefs to the meeting aimed at eliminating insurgency in the region. As security agencies continue to score high in the fight against insurgency, the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Iwo Tabas, says intelligence sharing among Naval Command and West Africa's sub-region is required to consolidate on feats so far recorded. Iwo stated this at the opening of the Offshore Patrol Vessel African Summit. Abiola Luwale has more.
With recent successes of the Nigerian military in the fight against Boko Haram insurgents, the leadership structure of the security agency have continued to explore ways of putting a final stop to the activities of the deadly sect. The Offshore Patrol Vessel Africa is a two-day summit of naval commands across West African sub-region targeted at taming the menace of piracy, crude oil theft, small arms smuggling, as well as ensuring effective maritime security. According to the Chief of Naval Staff, Ibot Ibas, the essence of the summit is to further entrench existing collaboration that will translate to effective maritime security across Africa.
The outcome of the conference is to enable us see the security challenge from a collective point of view. Maritime crimes are transnational in nature, and so whereas countries have been attempting to address the security concerns individually, we want to believe that at the end of the conference, all the countries of the sub-region and Africa as a whole will see the challenge as being common, and that by integrating the surveillance systems, we will be able to track and respond appropriately to the insecurity that we have in our various countries.
For his part, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Defense, Ismaila Aliyu, the position of federal government at motivating the Navy for optimal service cannot be overemphasized.
We at the Ministry of Defense, with the support of government, are doing what is necessary to enhance the asset recapitalization of the Nigerian Navy in order to improve its operational efficiency. It is gratifying to know that the effort by the Nigerian Navy in executing federal government's directives in curbing crude oil theft are yielding results.
Represented by his deputy, Idiat Adebule, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode assured the Navy of the state government's support at policing the country's seaports.
A lot of solutions are going to be profiled at this conference, but we hope, like I said in my speech of the governor, that whenever and in whatever capacity the Nigerian Navy feels that the Lagos State government can partner with them in ensuring that we ensure security in the maritime operations, we will always be there for them.
The two-day summit witnessed paper presentations on approaches to be adopted in the realization of the set objectives of the Navy. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
A coalition of civil society groups is demanding more government protection for whistleblowers and people exposing corrupt practices in the public sector. It also condemns the threat to the life of the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs, Fatima Bamidele, for exposing an 803 million naira fraud in the ministry. The group said at a news conference in Abuja, if the war against corruption is to be won, the government must do more to secure the lives of whistleblowers.
Then, in totality, the unwarranted threats against the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Niger Delta, Mrs. Fatima Bamidele, for exposing corruption and mismanagement of public funds placed at disposal of the ministry. The reluctant threats on well-being of person that expose high-level corruption and abuse of office in Nigeria have re-established the immediate need for effective legal framework for whistleblowing and protection of whistleblowers in all facets of our national life.
If corruption is reduced in Nigeria, there are people who will not live in the country. And those people who will not live in the country are already poised to challenge, kill and maim. And so if you are even a public official now and you are opening up the books, your life is in danger. And that's what we think we need to bring to the fore. And sometimes, you know, what happens within civil society is if it's somebody else, we say it doesn't concern us. But our integrity as civil society, which the media is included in, is being challenged right now on account of this whole anti-corruption thing. And I think we need to deal with that.
The Joint Health Sector Union of the Neuropsychiatrist Hospital Yaba chapter have been raising issues affecting the welfare and general development of the hospital, even after suspending the 52-day-long industrial action in July. This effort, the union say, has been to no avail. Emmanuel Ajayi has more in this report. I'll bring you details of that report in the subsequent bulletins. Health experts say the increasing number of Nigerians living with diabetes is becoming worrisome and needs urgent attention. They say about 4 million Nigerians are diabetic, and over half of this affected group of people are not aware of their status, as the 2014-2015 Faculty of Clinical Services lecture held at the Osun State University in Osogbo, Osun State. The experts also fingered obesity and unhealthy eating habit as the major causes of the disease, believed to be very deadly if not detected and managed early. Rashid has more.
Diabetes medically is a long-term condition that causes high blood pressure and in the recent times seems rampant not only among adults but teenagers and even children. Perhaps this was what informed the gathering of these health experts to brainstorm on how the medical profession can best manage the increase in patients living with diabetes. To Dr. Ayotunde Dokun, obesity, unhealthy eating habits, and physical inactiveness are among what contributes to the risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Financially, people get better. They work less. They're less physically active. People do everything for them. You have someone who cooks for you, someone who cleans for you. You have a driver who drives you around. You do very little, except for sitting at a computer in front of a computer. While in the old days we used to think of this as a measure of prosperity, I think it's time that we take a close look at ourselves and ask the question: if we're killing ourselves with our prosperity, is it really prosperity?
Most worrisome is the unfolding research that over 50% out of 4 million Nigerians live with diabetes and are not aware of it. But experts say diabetes can be managed, particularly with diet change, plenty of exercise and monitoring of blood glucose levels.
What we like to advocate is that every Nigerian, especially by the time you reach the age of 35 years, you need to do annual medical checkup. So during your annual medical checkup, which should be comprehensive, most of these diseases will be detected if they are there. And if you have pre-diabetes, then that will also be detected, and appropriate counseling shall be done so that pre-diabetes will not progress to diabetes.
Carbs, which is the heaviest portion of most of our diets, whether it's about amala, yiyan, all those things, you know, cassava, gari, all those things are highly heavy carbohydrate meals, and most of the people who consume it at the levels that we're used to consuming it when people were on the farm will eventually, it's just a matter of time, will start to gain weight, and when they gain weight, the risk of diabetes increases.
I think people should be well oriented about it, about the cause, and we should watch out for the kind of food we take. Then should engage ourselves in exercises, try to maintain adequate body weight.
Children, according to research, are however not exempted from diabetes.
Unlike even here, where kids spend a great deal amount of time outside, running around, being very physically active. In some of those developed countries, that's not the case. A lot of kids actually spend most of their time on a computer, playing computer games. A lot of kids spend a lot of their time in front of television. Unfortunately, that's beginning to be the case in our country as well, as most families have their flat screen TV and computer games and phones. The kids are spending most of their time doing that, not playing soccer or running in the streets.
While adequate information is needed, personal hygiene is also canvassed on the side of Nigerians in managing this deadly but treatable disease. Rashid, CoreTV News, Osogbo.
Well, that's a wrap on CoreTV News, and I'm thanks for watching. I'm Olajumoke Olatunji. Good afternoon.